So welcome all to another great reading session that we are continuing, and today is day 5 of the joyride that we are doing for this book of leadership, that is how to lead when we are not. We have completed till page 24, and currently we are checking or we are understanding the power of influence and how to create more influence even though we don't have the authority. Today we are starting from this section, understanding what at stake. So let me start reading and then I'll pass the turn to one of you as we complete one or two more pages. Okay. We have less I think we are about to complete chapter 1 today. So let's see. That day, okay, the subtopic name is understanding what's at stake. That day, as I sat in Andy's office responding to his questions, I decided I would try to be different, to be a different leader. I decided I was done using my lack of authority as an excuse to blame others. For too long, my attitude and my response to problems reflected passivity, a sense that I was aware of my circumstances. I had believed authority to do whatever I wanted. But that day I realized that just was not true. Believing the lie that authority was a prerequisite for leadership deeply affected my attitude. It affected the way I thought about myself and the challenges I encountered. It affected my behavior as well, and it had a cost. For over a decade, while I was waiting for the authority to lead, I missed out on several opportunities I will never get back. The fear of missing out, that is FOMO, fear of missing out. For those who love abbreviation, FOMO is abbreviation for fear of missing out, is not just a perceived fear, it can be reality. I really did miss out. I cannot press rewind. I cannot go back and try again. Those opportunities are now gone. But even worse than that, waiting for the authority to lead slowly eroded the gifts of leadership that were inside me. Waiting did not make me more of a leader, it made me less of a leader. And this is true for all of us, regardless of who you are. All human beings have a measure of leadership loaned to them. We may not immediately recognize it for what it is, but we each have the ability as well as the opportunities to influence others and affect change in the world. And the earlier we begin, the more it will grow. Conversely, the longer we wait, made in passivity and the sense that we are victims of circumstances and the decisions of others, the more likely we are to diminish and mute the leadership gifts within us. The more I sat back and watched things pass without taking initiative, the softer the voice became. Waiting for others to do something negatively affected the gift of leadership within me, each of which has a unique opportunity to create something right where we are. It does not require special authority or a fancy title or having a corner office. Even though I do not know you personally, I can guarantee you have an opportunity to create an oasis of excellence right where you are. Not only is it within you to lead, but it is possible for you to lead well. So do not shrink back until someone call your number, but Know that leading without authority is more difficult than leading with authority. This is important line. Not only is it within you to lead, but it is possible for you to lead well. So do not shrink back until someone calls your number. And how we can avoid shrinking back is taking proactive actions. We need not to wait for the position or the authority to be given to us and then act. Rather, we need to proactively act, otherwise, our leadership skill will shrink possibly to the zero level also. So here author is saying, but know that leading without authority is more difficult than leading with authority. That is true. It requires a level of self-awareness that few of us are ready to develop. And we are in that journey. That's why we are together reading this book. Because leading without authority means you need to have a clear understanding of your identity, who you are as a leader, apart from any titles. And this completes chapter 1. Now we will continue chapter 2 because we have time. So, any one of you, if you want, then please take over and start reading from here. Identity crisis. Emily Renuji. Okay, no problem. Let me continue then. Maybe you are in mobile or some difficulties, but it's okay. So, chapter 2 is all about identity crisis.
Yeah, I can read.
You can read
Sorry.
him.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
please go.
Identity crisis. At the end of every year, organizations like the American Dialect Society, Merriam-Webster, and the Oxford University Press name a word of the year. This is the night when the stars of the world hit the red carpet. It is the Oscars of the words. In 2015, Dictionary.com named identity as their word of the year. I bet the words that gave birth to identity were elated. Evidently, the people of Dictionary.com had made their decision after spending some time looking through the headlines. Because that year saw article after article wrestling with some of the most complicated and discussed questions of our day, questions about our identity. Is it possible for a person to have been born to white parents but identify as black? Rachel Dolezal seemed to think so. When people identify with a gender other than the one they were identified as at birth, which bathroom should they be allowed to use? Houston, Texas took a citywide vote on this question. If a government clerk identifies as a Christian, should her identity as a Christian allow her to refuse issuing licenses for same sex marriage? In Rowan County, Kentucky, Kim Davis went to jail because she believed so. Questions about our identity are front and center in our society. Should we be surprised? Few things are as crucial to who you are than how you see yourself and how others see you. The problem with identity is that it's squishy, like jello. It's challenging to pin to the wall. Psychologist Erik Erikson, Carl Jung, and Sigmund Freud dedicated their careers to countless hours of research and wrote volumes of theories to answer what identity is and is not. So maybe you are thinking, with all of this top level research, do you think you have something to add to the conversation? I believe I do. Actually, I believe we all do. Near the core of what makes a person a leader is their sense of identity. The way you see yourself is determinative for your life and for the decisions you make as a leader. Your sense of identity directs you in every situation. It's foundational. determining the level of confidence you have when you challenge your boss in a disagreement. It establishes your sense of security when you face doubts. It's what enables you to process your emotions during tense conversations. Though much of your identity is formed at an early age, your identity is always evolving. So it's never too early or too late to begin processing your sense of self. Near the core of what makes a person a leader is their sense of identity. Your personal identity is even more crucial when you are determining how best to lead when you are not in charge. Most people in this situation focus on learning new behaviors to compensate for the lack of authority. But the challenge goes deeper than that. Leading well without formal authority has less to do with your behavior and far more to do with your identity. Like the ace of spades, who we are trumps what we do every time.
Okay,
During
great.
that,
So let's give opportunity to others.
sure.
Thank you, Emily, for reading so nicely. So, anyone else wants to take over from here? Or energy? We'll read only another 2, 3 paragraphs. That's all. Okay, let me read again then. During that crucible of clarity a few years ago in Andy's office, I processed a full swatch of emotions. On one side, I felt insecure and inadequate, looking for the nearest corner to a ball to ball up into. Do I have what it takes to lead well? I think I have been passively avoiding doing what I need to do to lead well. Is it because I do not have what it takes to lead well? I have been put in this position. I do not deserve it. I have not actually done anything to warrant this opportunity. What if I am exposed as a counterfeit leader? What if I cannot do this? On the other side, I could feel my pride being threatened and I wanted to rise up and defend myself. How dare you question my ability to lead? Do you know how difficult it is to exist in your shadow? Do you know the frustrations that come with trying to navigate the complexity of this organization? If only I were in charge, I'm not exactly sure what I would do, but I would not make people feel this way. I have found that amid swirling emotions, my ability to calmly process my thought with awareness and emotional intelligence is largely dependent on the security of my identity. It is if it is as if all the work I have or have not done to see myself accurately comes to call in the moment. If I have spent too much time dwelling on my failures and inadequacies, it will show in my response. If I have spent too much time rewatching my own highlights, it will also show. If identity is anything, it is everything. I will tell you that I will tell you this right now. Every distortion between the authority you have and leadership you exercise can be traced to a crisis of identity. Whether it is the under whether it's the under the thumbs authoritarian or the power hungry ladder climber or the passively reluctant leader, every leadership distortion is ultimately rooted in the ever so important chamber of identity. How we see ourselves affects our ability to follow others, our ability to lead others, and our ability to find the future God has for us. And until you know who you are, until you know how we see ourselves affects our ability to follow others. and our ability to lead others. Very important line. And our ability to find the future God has ability to find the future God has for us. And until you know who you are, you cannot do what God has called you to do. As we will see in this chapter before, God pushes men and women into the call of duty. He saves and molds their character by speaking into their identities. He has done that with me, and I believe He wants to do the same with you. The last paragraph goes like this. Kurt Vonnegut famously said, I am a human being, not a human doing. Vonnegut was an odd atheist and president of the American Humanist Association, but his observation parallels the Orthodox Christian view of how God created us. We were crafted in God's image to be something before we were given any mandate to do something. This tells us something about God, but it also says much about how God sees us. Another way to say this is that, another way to say this is that our identities preceded our actions. Our behavior flow from our identities. Our behaviors flow from our identities. So before we spend any energy on what we do as a leader, we really need to spend some time on who we are as a leader, especially when we are not the ones in charge. Because people who are already in charge, they might be having an identity created and awarded to them as an authority or a designation. But even though that itself is not enough, but at least they have something to start with. But if someone is starting without the designation or authority, still he or she can be a great leader. But the important step that he need to give it is the identities. The identities need to be first found out. So before we spend an energy on what we do as a leader, we really need to spend some time on who we are as a leaders, especially when we are not the one in charge. This is one of the good line which I really like. And if you want to share something
Uh,
which you really like,
Hi, Renu here.
please share.
Um, I just wanted to know, on what basis had we selected this book? If you can give me some background. I'm sorry, I did not read when you called my name, but then I actually wanted to understand because this is my first time in this session.
Yeah, fine. So we have couple of books actually we selected in various reading clubs. We have multiple clubs actually running parallelly. So they are going hand in hand, and April month is dedicated for leadership. That's where actually out of three or four books that selected for leadership, I have chosen this book.
Okay.
Because this is a little smaller books which we can complete little easily, and the takeaways and the actionable points are also being posted in the group, which is going to help all of us to reaffirm the knowledge that we are reading.
Okay. Got it.
There are total three chapters, three parts of the book basically.
Okay.
So we are now currently in part one, where we are understanding our challenges. Part
Okay.
two has the four behaviors. It says about the four behaviors, and part three is challenging the authority. These are the three parts.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it.
So if you have missed few of the sessions, you can always go to my YouTube channel and watch the recording also, and also the summary is being posted in the group itself. The actionable points and the summaries.
Fine, fine, got it.
Okay, great. So I'd encourage all of you to join regularly because the session duration is not very long. It is just 15 to 20 minutes max each day. But if we join regularly, then we get the continuity and we really get the essence of the book, and the only the summary might not be helpful. Yes, Amal, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you put it already on the group. Is it possible to put your YouTube link once on the group? Because I think this is my second session only.
Sure, sure. I will be putting the special playlist that I've created for this book. You can subscribe to this channel also so that you will get the automatic notification once the reading sessions are getting linked to the playlist. I'll be
Okay.
sending it. Yeah.
Okay, fine. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.